The degrees that I'm currently working on at the Katz Graduate School of Business is an MBA, MIB dual degree. It's the Master of Business Administration, of course, and MIB is Master of International Business. For me personally, having the dual MBA MIB degree would differentiate myself from other MBAs in the market. The degree itself is great, but having a dual degree on top of the MBA really puts you head and shoulders above others, gives you that differentiating factor, and allows you to have that edge when you are interviewing for a job. Also, I believe the school gives you a lot of value for the education. I was originally born in the People's Republic of China, and I came over to the U.S. at the tender age of 9 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I've been here ever since, almost 20 years now, and I'm a Pittsburgher by heart. My favorite class so far at the University of Pittsburgh Katz Graduate School of Business has been Global Macroeconomics 1 and 2. Reason is, I think that class makes you more aware of worldly matters, economics and some politics. Just a very all-encompassing course. Makes you feel more aware of what's going on, and I think it taught me a lot of things that I would have never learned in any other classes. And I think the class is also engaging, interesting, makes you interested in business. The requirements for the MIB dual degree program outside the classwork, the coursework, are primarily two. One is the language proficiency requirement, which requires a student to have equivalent either 2-year enrollment in the university-approved language class or equivalent proficiency for the student. For the MIB internship practicum requirement, the student is required to travel to a international country of their choosing, where the language of their preference is also the spoken language of the land, and they're required to be there for at least 1 month to work for an organization there in order to fulfill this particular requirement. At the same time, those credits are not only are they required for the degree, but it's a very endearing and very rewarding experience for them to go abroad and see what is out there. Outside the coursework, there are a lot of activities for students to get involved in. For example, the multiple clubs of various functions. For example, the operations club, marketing club, consulting club, just to name a few. I'm actually neck deep in the operations club. I'm one of the vice presidents currently on board. So for example, APICS is a prominent professional organization for individuals who would like to get involved in the operations field, probably the most prominent one in the world. The university, through this club, has established a connection with them, which can give students opportunities to meet with professionals and to learn about the body of knowledge provided through this organization. For example, insight in the industry and industry professionals' personal expertise and advice. In addition, this year I was fortunate enough to be selected into the APICS Future Leaders Program, one of 8 students picked nationally to represent APICS in future events. A typical class day at Katz, it's all over the place. Some days you have one class and you go to class and the rest of the time is yours and you can be selective in what you want to do there. However, there's some days that are just very intense here at Katz. You would go from morning to night, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. with just filled with classes, meetings, and projects you have to do for classes and things outside the classroom. It's very intense, it's very dynamic, but very rewarding. Going into the school, the student obviously needs to be prepared to make some sacrifices that school does need to have a priority in life, and putting in the necessary time in order to make the degree happen. In addition, the student also needs to decide what else is important to him or her outside the class. For example, networking with fellow peers, networking with professionals, gaining additional experience by perhaps internships or part-time jobs at other companies. My internship experience was extremely rewarding. I was able to secure an internship in China over the summer of 2010, and I traveled there for 3 months, lived and worked near the site. And for 3 months, I learned a lot of things that I didn't know before, obviously. Although I have a pretty acute familiarity with culture, but working there and working with cross-cultural and cross-functional teams was something relatively new to me. And learning a lot of intricacies about working with them, how they function, how they're different from people who work in the US was very enlightening. For me personally, the best takeaway at the Katz Graduate School of Business is I believe I've matured overall as a person, as a professional. Just putting all the experiences together, you grow as a person and you grow as a professional in so many ways that it's hard to describe or quantify. Compared to when I first entered the school, I feel that today I'm a wiser and a more mature person and professional than when I entered, and I'm proud of that.